Hello everyone, this is Group 8, myself, Nefi, Mike, and Indira. For this week we read Chapter 12, Automate and Enable Low-Risk Releases. And the sections are the following. Automate our deployment process, enable automated self-service deployments, integrate code deployment into deployment pipeline, decouple deployments from releases, environment-based release patterns, application-based patterns to enable safer releases, survey of continuous delivery, and continuous deployment in practice. The last part will be the conclusion. Let's start with automate our deployment process. Here we learned that in order to achieve good outcomes, an automated mechanism that deploys code is needed in production and follow the manual steps as possible. And if we can remove steps that take a long time to complete. Developers will also need to work closely with operations to ensure tools and processes code created can be used downstream. There are also tools that can provide continuous integration and testing that support the ability to extend the deployment pipeline. The following are requirements for deployment pipeline. So we have deploying the same way to every environment. This means that if we use the same deployment mechanism on every environment, our production deployment is likely to be more successful. Smoke testing our deployment, which refers to testing that we can connect to any supporting system during the deployment process and run single test transactions to ensure the system is performing as designed. And lastly, we have ensure we maintain consistent environments. Here we must continually ensure the environments remain synchronized. Enable automated self-service deployments. Allows to better enable fast flow development or operations. A perform code promotion process is needed without any manual steps or handoffs, which will then affect the build. Here, this is when the deployment pipeline creates packages from version control. And then we have the tests. Here, anyone can run automated tests, suite and workstations on our test system. Then we have deploy. Anyone can deploy packages to any environment that they have access. And these steps allow deployments to be completed successfully. Integrate code deployment into the deployment pipeline. In this section, we learned that once the deployment pipeline is automated, it can be part of the deployment pipeline. And the main goals are to make sure deployments are fast, so that we don't have to wait many hours to determine if it succeeded or failed. So thanks to the new technologies like containers, complex deployments can be completed in seconds or minutes. Decouple deployments from releases. All software releases are handled by marketing launch date. All completed softwares are deployed on a prior evening to production and will then be announced in the morning. When things don't go according to plan, the service may fail for both the customers and the organization. The business and marketing decide how quickly a new functionality is exposed to customers. I want to add that there are two types of release patterns: environment-based release patterns and application-based release patterns. Moving on to environment-based release patterns. During this process, all deployments can be done during a typical business hour, which allows operations to have normal working hours. When there are two versions of an application in production, that creates problems. Two general approaches can be performed. One, you can create two databases, each version blue and green of the application that has its own database. Or second, decouple database changes from application changes by making only additive changes to the database. And also, we have the blue-green release pattern, which is very easy to implement and can increase the safety of software releases. For example, the canary release pattern automates the release process by promoting larger and more critical environments. Application-based patterns to enable safer releases. There is implement feature toggles. This is the primary way that application-based releases are enabled. Then we have rollback, easily, which are features that can create problems or interruptions in production that can be quickly and safely disabled. Gracefully degraded performance is when a service experiences extremely high loads that normally require an increase in capacity or risk of having a service fail in production. Increase our resilience through a service-oriented architecture in case there is a feature that relies on another service but has not been completed yet. The feature can still be deployed into production. And lastly, we have perform dark launches. This is where functionality is deployed into production and then perform testing while it is still visible to customers. Survey of continuous delivery and continuous deployment in practice. Defined as continuous delivery is a prerequisite for continuous deployment, just as continuous integration is prerequisite for continuous delivery. All of this means deployment is more likely applicable in the context of web services that are delivered online. There are also fast lead times and high predictable low-risk outcomes that come from continuous delivery, applicable in almost every context of desired deployments and releases. Teams are also empowered to choose how to deploy based on the risks that they manage. Here we have some case studies, key points, and outcomes. So we learned that the CSG International went from deployments that were obtaining twice per year to daily. The Dixon's Retail proved that the blue-green deployments can be applied to different technologies with the goal to make it easier and safer to deploy into production by using Etsy. And Facebook is one of the most visited sites that avoided doing it all in one fell swoop. Finally, we have the conclusion for this chapter, where we learned that releases don't have to be at a high risk when deployments are planned appropriately. They can be incorporated into daily work. Also, the incorporation into your own development can be cut down deployment time from months to minutes. And human operation work is achieved when both the devs and ops work together. So this has been our presentation for this chapter, and I hope you guys keep learning in the upcoming chapters. Thank you so much for watching.